Alright, it says here we can learn watch repair in 8 one-hour lessons. Boy, that took forever.
It's that time of the year again. Patch 6.1 is finally upon us, and with it, the much anticipated full release of Marie. But obviously that's not the only thing about to be released with this patch. But of course, we'll get there when we get there. We'll start with the aforementioned Marie release. As per usual, it's gonna release at double price, her prize fight's finally gonna come out, yada yada yada, you know the drill by now, I hope. Other than that, her prize fight will take place in Thursday, and its diamond modifier looks to be rather obnoxious, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be passable enough to deal with. That being said, how much you wanna bet there's gonna be a bunch of immoral fibers around? And then we have a brand new sextet of variants. I'm not sure how the effects will fare overall, but as per usual, we'll see it in action when we get our hands on them. Worth mentioning that the summer season variants will be released this patch, while the autumn ones you'll have to wait until 6.2. So if you really wanted that bombshell, you're gonna have to wait. Speaking of trying out variants, Parallel Realms will actually deliver on that regard. A new feature in the form of recruitment is actually coming out, which allows you to choose between a selection of variants in order to get a grasp on how they play. That's a great thing to actually figuring out whether something is worth investing or not. So say you try out
Cosmic Rebel.
You don't really feel her? Well, once you get her, you know not to really invest on her. Yeah, I think this edition is great. I think it would have been better for the prize fight events, but I'm not complaining either way. Holodeck gets a new limited time version called Holodeck Mayhem, which is essentially much more XP, up to 10 times with a double XP. That's a pretty hefty amount, although this event will last for a short amount of time, so if you really need to level something up, you know what to do. In terms of quality of life additions, the Backstage Pass will feature a claim all button for all the goals, which is convenient for the sake of not pressing everything individually. And you can now invest all of the skill tree at once with the press of a button. It's definitely gonna be resource draining, but having it done at the single click of a button is an incredible time saver. Its only oversight would be critless builds, which they would still require to press everything individually. Can't win them all, I guess. And also a prompt for no moves equipped. Thank fuck for that. Last but not least, and the big event of the day, a Catalyst update has finally happened. Now I'm not gonna discuss every single one of them because there's a fuck ton of Catalysts that have been updated. But it's fair to say that some still will not make the cut. As for the most relevant, we have the nerf for Don't Poke the Viewer and Frost Armor. They're definitely trying to curb the reflect meta to some extent, and unquestionably it's a dark day for whoever has evolved like 20 rage appropriates. But will it truly kill off these two Catalysts? If nothing else, it will make them a little less obnoxious, but otherwise they're still on the decent end. Then you have cases such as Marked for Deletion, becoming even more obnoxious than usual. This Catalyst in particular is definitely gonna force a much more aggressive playstyle, and I can see it synergizing with Dahlia and Painwheel pretty well, since both actually have access to Deathmark. Come to think of it, it could actually be an indirect buff to run Herb. That's actually kinda fucked. Anyway, another noteworthy buff would be Futile Resistance. Yes, this is the only thing that Big Ben will get in terms of a buff. And is it that good? I would say it's on the passable end. I doubt it's gonna truly make Ben meta again. For sure it's gonna make him more obnoxious with the lack of piercing, but most of his defenders are still kind of mediocre. So I highly doubt it's gonna be a major takeoff. No, I don't think it's gonna be like the old days of armor rating Futile Resistance. Overall, these changes have gotten some rather mixed opinions. I think it's good they try to mix up the meta, because otherwise it's just Painwheel and Frost Armor all the time. Whether it's a good change or a bad one, that's left for us to witness. But at the very least I respect the attempt of making things a little fresh. If not for a short while. Much like with the previous meta, this one is bound to fall stale, which is not an easy fix realistically. I guess it's all a matter of just constant updating or something, I don't know. Last we have brand new avatars. Now seriously, who the fuck buys this shit? In conclusion, I'd say it's a passable patch. It's got some good additions, and it's nice that Marie is finally fully released. The Catalyst modifying the meta will be an interesting thing to witness. But that being said, fuck if I know, dude, I'm just along for the ride.
Todo se va a desmoronar, les van a hacer auditorías, miles de auditorías, ya verán, ya lo verán.
Cálmese.
Todos se van a morir y yo lo voy a disfrutar.
Está
lo voy a
hablando
disfrutar
incongruencias.
mucho, lo veré con mis propios ojos. Todo esto va a suceder. Miles de auditorías para todo.